We're learning L'Kutei Sichos Aleph. Good. Parshat Behar. The Techilas the Parsha in the beginning of this week's portion, it says, "Vayedaber Hashem al Moshe Behar Sinai." That God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. What did he say? All the mitzvahs were on Mount Sinai. No. It says one mitzvah. V'shav towards Shabbat Hashem. You have to keep the Shemitah year. 6 years you work, and 1 year you don't work on the land. Rashi Omer B'Yachas Lezeh. Rashi comments and says, in the name of Torah Kahanim, one of the midrashim on the book of Vayikra, Ma'yin Shemitah Etzl Har Sinai. What is so special about this commandment of Shemitah, the 7th year, that you introduce it by saying it was given on Mount Sinai? All the commandments were said on Mount Sinai. Elama Shemitah Nemru Klalotel V'Diktotel B'Sinai. Just like the Shemitah, the general and the details were on Sinai, also all of them were said, the general principles and the details were said on Mount Sinai. But we have to understand, Madua Mofia Hahora Bahar Sinai Davka Lagabi Mitzvah Shemitah. Why is these two words, God gave Moses this commandment on Mount Sinai? Why is it said only regarding Shemitah? Hari Yochola Yata Horazot Likote Lagabi Mitzvah Dachirot. There are other commandments, not that many, but there are other commandments in the Torah that the details are given. Me'oto mitzvah hayal nilmad, and from another mitzvah you could learn the same thing. It just as that all the commandments were given on Mount Sinai, just as this commandment was given on Mount Sinai with all of its details, and so also all the commandments were given with all their details. Why Shemitah? Why is Shemitah so important? And Shemitah is a very weird commandment, like you're going to see here. Shemitah is not a general commandment. It's only done in the land of Israel, and it's only relevant to farmers in the land of Israel. A person who's not a farmer, he doesn't have to know all these laws about Shemitah. But all you have to have is a rabbi that comes in and checks and says, no, this was done according to the laws of Shemitah. You don't have to know laws. You're not going to... It could be the teretz maybe we can answer such as Mishum Mitzvah Shemitah, because Mitzvah Shemitah already was in a general way in Parshat Mishpatim. Earlier in the book of Exodus, after Matan Torah, there was always a B'Shvish Tishbatenu Tashta. The commandment was already mentioned over there. And in Parshat Behar, now it is given in details. Oh, so that's why it says here that the commandment was given general and details. And so it is with all the commandments that were given on Mount Sinai. That's why it says Sinai here. But this is not a very good answer. Because there are other commandments also that are in Parshat Mishpatim, and there are the general laws, and there's other places that these laws are explained in more detail, other places. So is there something special about the mitzvah of Shemitah that it somehow or other represents all of the other commandments? Why Shemitah? What's so special? Let's see. Even more, I have a bigger question. Mitzvah Shemimena Nilmadas. You're going to learn from one mitzvah about all the other mitzvahs. That mitzvah should be a general mitzvah. Madua Eifo Nivchara Mitzvah Shemitah. Why the mitzvah of Shemitah? Shehi Lechora Mitzvah Pratis, which is just a specific commandment. Va'av Yeshlo Mispar Nikar Shel Hagbalot, and it has all sorts of limitations. Like I just finished saying. First of all, the mitzvah Shemitah, like we just finished learning in the previous Sikha, is from the Torah, is only when there's the Yovel. Now it's only from the rabbis. And also, according to the opinions, that it is like the Rishalmi, that even nowadays, according to most, it's only Midrabanan, not even the Rishalmi. Most of the opinions say that those people that say that it's a commandment to do Shemitah, it's only from the rabbis. Interestingly, he brings here that the one who says that the Rabbanan is the Yerushalmi says it's from the Rabbanan. Yes, that's right. That's what we learned before. That's right. The Yerushalmi says that it's from the Rabbanan. That's right. If you don't do it 100%, then it's not the commandment. Zu Hagbala Bisman. And also it's a commandment that is very limited in time, only in once in every 6 years, 7 years. Also, it is a commandment that is limited to place. It's only in the land of Israel, not outside. And like I said before, it's a law that's really only relevant to farmers. Therefore, we must say that the mitzvah of Shemitah must be a general commandment, and it encompasses all of the other commandments. Somehow or other, the most general commandment that we can find to represent all of the other commandments, and say that just as this one was given in its generality and its specifics, so all the commandments were given the generality and the specifics. What is the best representative of this for all the commandments? Shemitah. Why? We'll see. It says 6 years you should plant in your field, and 6 years you should work on your grapes, your vines. Why do you have to have why do you have to say that? It's not a commandment. You don't have to work on your field if you don't want to. What does it say? 6 years you should work on your field. 6 years you should work on your grapes. What if a person doesn't want to work on his field 6 years? What if he wants to make an amusement park on his field? You can't do that. Why does it say a commandment? 6 years you should work on your field. And 6 years you should work on your grapes. And then the 7th year, you really have to work 6 years? You don't have to work 6 years if you don't want. Therefore, we have to say, that this commandment, apparent commandment, 6 years you have to work on your field, nichlal b'mitzvah Shemitah, is part of the commandment of Shemitah. Ve'en a-mitzvah mitpatet rak b'shana ashvi'it Shabbat Shabbaton. The mitzvah of Shemitah is not just 1 year. The mitzvah of Shemitah is 7 years. It includes 6 years you must work and 1 year that you don't work. In other words, don't let your field go 7 years in a row. Don't do anything. Sit back. You have to work on your field 6 years, and 1 year you let it fallow. That's the mitzvah. Is that really the mitzvah? No way. There's no mitzvah whatsoever to work on your field for 7 years, for 6 years rather. So what's going on over here? Why does the Torah say it? And why is that part of the commandment? Right? If it's totally unnecessary, the Torah wouldn't put it in there. There must be some reason that it's in there, and it's in there in the mitzvah of Shemitah. Let's see. Okay, Herschel. Yesh b'kach mishum achana. So why does the Torah say 6 years you should work on your field? Maybe we can say this is a preparation for the mitzvah of Shemitah, in order that you can fulfill what it says, Ubashana Shvi'it, on the 7th year, Shabbat Shabbaton, it is a rest. Yesh lizdakek, therefore, it is necessary, B'hachana, to work 6 years on your field. Or maybe we can say no. Maybe the 6 years you work is not the preparation for the main thing. Maybe the 6 years, that's the main thing. Tachlit. Zu techilata shel mitzvah Shemitah. This is a necessary preparation for the mitzvah of Shemitah. Tachlit hakavanat b'shibaton shel Shvita, that the whole purpose of resting on the 7th year is in order that you should fulfill what it says, 6 years you should work. So the 6 years that you should work, this is just like a secondary thing, it's just a preparation so that you can do Shemitah. Or maybe the 6 days you should work, that's the goal. 6 days you should work, that's the main thing. 6 years. So 6 years work on your field. And the 7th day, take a rest. But the main thing is the 6 years that you're working, which sort of makes sense. Because the purpose that Jewish people are here in the world to fix up the world. So we're fixing up the world. That's the work of the 6 years. But just so you shouldn't forget who you're working for, and that really everything you're doing is a big miracle, and that the fact that the earth puts out produce is no less of a miracle. So therefore, there's a 7th year where you don't do anything. So what do we say? That the whole purpose of working 6 years is for the 7th year, which makes sense, because if you rest all the time, then the 7th year doesn't mean anything.
We could say 6 days of work.
We're talking about 6 years of the Shemitah, right? Same corresponding, yes.
We're talking 6 days of work. It's important because we bring Shabbat, we work in 6 days, but no one would say that the 7th day of Shabbat is not the special day. It's a special day.
Yes, everybody agrees that the Shemitah is the special day. But the question is it a special day? Is Shabbat, the specialness of Shabbat, only to give us power and to put us into the proper, perspective, the world into proper perspective, so that we can do the main thing we came into the world for, and that is 6 days you should work. And with Shabbat is a day that we're together with God. Of course, God is important. It's a question about it. So why have a 6 days? Why have 6 days at all? If 6 days are not important, then if the 6 days are just an extra thing, and the main thing is to be with God, so let's be with God all the time. Right? He says, no, God doesn't want that. God wants you to work in the world and make the world holy. So what is the main thing? Is Shabbat just a preparation and a giving of a power for the 6 days, to put holiness into the 6 days? Or maybe we say the other one right around. The 6 days of the week are just a preparation so that we can feel the holiness of Shabbat. The same thing is with the Shemitah year. Is the Shemitah year the main thing? The reason that we're working is in order to give us a rest, that we find the rest that we can appreciate on the 7th year. Or maybe we say no. The rest is only in order that we should be rested up so that we can work on our land brand new and recognize the miracle of growth and of hard work, etc. Everyone agrees with me.
I don't really understand. Because we have a command of works in faith.
Right.
And we rest on the Shabbat.
Right.
But we can work 6 days, then we don't have to rest on the Shabbat.
What does that mean?
Why do we rest?
Okay, no, the rest on the Shabbos is not going to sleep, even though there's some people that do hold with this opinion, and they hold very, very religiously with this opinion, right? But the rest which is talked about here is not a physical rest. For some people, Shabbat they work more on Shabbat than any other day, because they take a long time to pray. And they sit and learn whenever they can, and they're together with the family and have to deal with all the children.
We need 6 days to relax.
Right. So that's what the people that hold with you just have to rest all the time, they say. They're Mahader and Shabbos. Don't take any chances. Maybe Sunday is Shabbos, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. You can never tell. It's like you're on a desert island. The whole exile is a desert island. So every day you just don't do anything. Right? That is not a very popular opinion. But what is the opinion is that the resting on Shabbat means that you have to rest from the malachas that we do. Don't write, don't turn on lights. These things don't take any effort, right?
That's show the holiness.
Holiness, right? Shows the holiness of Shabbos. It's like a precious diamond. You don't scratch it. You don't try to make it better. Just preserve it. Just preserve it and shine it, make it beautiful. That's the idea of Shabbat. It's a beautiful. Now the question is, do the 6 days exist for the Shabbat? Or does the Shabbat exist for the 6 days? Same thing here. Do the 6 years that it says you should work, 6 years, do they exist for the Shemitah year, or does the Shemitah year exist for these? Which one? So we'll see. Let's see what the Rebbe has to say. Then you can agree or not agree. Why is it not a question? Excuse me, seems to be a pretty good question.
Why does the 6 days that we have to be? Why can't they do it on their own? They don't have to do the job.
Because it's a commandment. The commandment says, Sheishis Yamim Ta'avod Uviyom HaShavit Tishbosh. The same thing is with Shemitah. It says, Sheish Shanim Tizmor Chamecha Uvashana Shavi'it Shabbat Lashem.
But the thing is, we have 2 commandments. Why do we have one have to depend on the other?
Because what we're resting from, the whole word Shabbat, means to rest from something.
But it's still a separate commandment.
Okay, it's good.
So, why is that a question?
Listen, let's go. One second. Let's be a little bit more clear. To work 6 days a week is not a commandment.
Yes.
No commandment. Good. That is, it's optional. No. 6 days you can work if you want. 6 days, but Shabbat you cannot work. That's the real meaning. The real meaning is there is no mitzvah from the Torah to work. You don't have to work. There's no mitzvah. There's no mitzvah. The same thing a farmer. If a farmer buys land and he wants to let the land fallow, he can let the land fallow. He can do whatever he wants. There's no mitzvah as such to work on the land. Right? Now the question is, right? But it says in the Torah. So what it's saying in the Torah, it means can. 6 days you can work, and you do their work. And the 7th day you should rest. Right? Why does it even say that at all? Just say the 7th day you should rest. Forget about the 6 days. Just say Yom HaShvi'i Tishbot. Right? Tispor Shishat Yamim Uvashom HaShvi'i. So that's what the Rebbe is asking the question about. Why does it say you should work? Is the day of Shabbat, is that a preparation for the 6 days? Or the 6 days of work a preparation so that you'll appreciate the Shabbat? Which is it? Because there is no mitzvah. There is no mitzvah to work on Shabbat, on 6 days. No commandment. It's optional. A lot of people take that option also. It's not a sin. If a person doesn't work, it's not doing a sin. It's terrible. It's not good. Waste of time, yes, 100%. But it's not an actual sin. There's no sin about wasting time. In Egypt there was. Okay. Oh. Good. As we'll continue tomorrow. No problem.